Hello everybody, so in today's video I'm going to be using a variety of different supplies. I primarily wanted to try out these Tombow markers because I've seen other artists on YouTube use them before. Because they're water based rather than alcohol based, I was interested in how they work. This is an example of a drawing I already did in Biro and also the Tombow markers. And then on screen I have all of the other supplies I'm going to be using throughout this video, but these will all be listed in the description, so don't worry if you can't see all them right now. And today's video is especially different to usual because I've never done like a fully traditional Drawing Your OCs video. So this is really exciting as well as quite daunting for me because I don't know why, but I've been in such a weird place with traditional art lately. Like, I used to be primarily a traditional artist, mainly marker based, and then I kind of branched out into watercolor, which at first was super difficult for me, but then I really got the hang of watercolor and it became my favorite medium. But I don't know why, but for the last, I'd say 6 months-ish, I've just been kind of completely abandoning traditional art. So when I actually returned to it in this video, it did feel so rusty for me and it was really difficult. It's almost as if I'd like forgotten how to draw traditionally and it was just really hard. Another thing that was quite difficult this episode was I had 2 different characters of 2 different skin tones that I was drawing, and that made life difficult because with watercolors it's very much something of patience. You have to be quite patient and layer up different colours and gradually get the colour you want. And because one of the characters had a darker skin tone, because watercolours fade out to a lighter tone, it was quite hard to get the right skin colour that I wanted. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about this first character. As always, I'll have the creators of both the characters linked in the description. So this is their OC, Lovie, and Lovie is 16. She likes to draw stuff, play games on the computer and iPad like Minecraft, Pokemon and Sims. She likes to watch movies and she doesn't like when people in her class are super annoying and yell at each other, homework and school stuff, and also when people call her a nerd even though she is. Personality wise, she's nice to people that are nice to her and doesn't want to be in trouble. She's mostly alone and doesn't have that many friends, just one in real life friend that goes to another school, and they are together always after school playing games. She has many internet friends however, who she texts with a lot. So firstly, I thought her design was so cute. I really loved her hairstyle. It was just so cool and like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like kind of like, I don't know, really like messy but short and really nice. I really like it. So I thought she'd be a really interesting character to draw. I also really liked her glasses as well and her freckles. So I thought it'd be really interesting to see how I could try and capture this character. And also because it seemed like she really does like gaming, I kind of tried to do some kind of like pixely kind of look in the background. Maybe it could be somewhat significant of Minecraft blocks, I don't know. But anyway, I was really happy with how those came out as well. And in both the characters that I've drawn today, I did the backgrounds in those Tombow markers. And if I do make another traditional video soon, I'd like to do one primarily with those markers, just because I'm always really skeptical about any water-based markers rather than alcohol-based markers, because obviously alcohol markers like Copics and Winsor & Newton markers, they blend really well and you get a nice smooth blend with them, as well as a nice like blocky colour. And I always find with water-based products, even my Zig Clean Colour pens, which are the ones I use to outline my drawings in this video, they kind of, if you try and layer them, they just kind of end up a little bit streaky, just like a felt tip pen would, because they're all like water-based. And sometimes I find if I don't have good enough paper, the paper starts to come up in like little bobbly bits. So I was really worried about that happening with them, but I didn't see that happening much. And also because it said on the packet that they blend together well, I really wanted to see how well those would blend. And just as a little disclaimer, I know I wasn't really very inventive with any of the posing in this drawing. The drawings are quite small, the expressions are quite standard, and they're both basically facing forward. And like I said, I was just having such a hard time. I don't know why, I don't really have any particular excuse for it. I've also not really been feeling like drawing lately. I always feel like really guilty when I've been drawing lately because, as you guys may know, because I've mentioned it a couple times already, I'm in exam season at the moment, and any moment I spend drawing, I just feel so like guilty, and I just feel like, oh my god, I should be studying right now. But anyway, I only have one exam left, and that's actually this Thursday, so after that I'm completely done. I can make as many videos as I want, well, before I go on holiday, and yeah, it's gonna be great. Speaking of which, I will be going to Florida on the 17th of July, and that is why I bought that Canson XL sketchbook, because basically it's my favourite sketchbook I've ever owned. I've owned a lot of sketchbooks, but that's got to be my favourite one. And I know a lot of other YouTube artists use it as well. Unfortunately, I've never found a place in the UK that sells them. So I was like, do I want to order this on Amazon now? Or do I want to wait until I'm in Florida and can go to Michael's before I buy it? And I was just like, you know what, I can't wait any longer. I'm just gonna have to order it off Amazon. I really want it for like the airport and the 9-hour flight, so that's why I purchased that. But it's definitely one of my favourite things to use. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I know the poses aren't very inventive. Hopefully you guys can just give me a pass on that. I just was having a really hard time, and that happens sometimes. And sometimes you do get in a situation where you don't like how anything's turning out and you really don't feel up to drawing, which is also something I'm thinking about making a video on. If you would like to see a video on that, definitely let me know. And finally, to talk about this very last OC. This is this person's first OC that they've ever made, and I thought that's really cool because her design is just so cool and original, and especially for someone who's never created an OC before. So well done on that to the person who created her. So she's 19, she's 5'8", and here's her backstory. Anea was born in a small cabin in the woods on her planet, which is very similar to Earth. Something to compare to the region Anea lived in would be middle/northern Canada. But when Anea was 5 years of age, an evil sorceress came to Anea's cabin and brutally murdered Anea's parents by burning down the cabin while they were still inside. But at the same time, the sorceress, who is named Nazari, kidnapped Anea and tortured her until she conformed to her commands like a well-trained dog. However, as Anea started growing, learning the sorcery and thinking for herself, she started to get glimpses of her past, which she'd forgotten from the trauma. She started to get more and more hatred for Nazari, because before then, Anea forgot about the wickedness that Nazari had done and had actually thought of her as a mother figure. By the age of 17, Anea was finally able to execute her plan to get revenge on Nazari. She was going to murder her the same way her parents were murdered. She was going to throw Nazari in the fire and run with as much belongings as she could hold and watch the fire burn down, and that is exactly what she did. Ever since that day, she's been travelling town to town, trying to advance her progress in the art of sorcery. She never stays at one place for too long, never gets attached to someone, and never gets attached to the material that she can't run with. Also, she has a purple triangle on her face because that is what Nazari branded on her with a magical fire that burns 3 times more than regular fire but leaves a permanent mark on anything it touches. She did this to show Anea and anyone else that asked that Anea was her property. So I thought that was a really cool backstory. I like that you considered how she has certain features. That's always a good part of creating a character's backstory. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed me doing a traditional video to change things up, and please give me suggestions of videos to make, because I have to make 6 pre-prepared videos before I go on my vacation. So let me know what you'd like to see, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye guys.